Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So it is a sunny day, as you can tell. And you can see she's squinting, and I'm kind of squinting. And and in the sun it's nice and warm, but there's this cool breeze. It's a little chilly, but we're outside again for a change. And going to read the Bhagavatam together.
Right, it's Canto 4, Chapter 16, Text 11.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Text 11. King Prithu was born of the dead body of King Vena, as fire is produced from Arani wood. Thus, King Prithu will always remain just like fire, and his enemies will not be able to approach him. Indeed, he will be unbearable to his enemies, for although staying very near him, they will never be able to approach him, but will have to remain as if far away. No one will be able to overcome the strength of King Prithu. Arani wood is a kind of fuel used to ignite fire by friction. At the time of performing sacrifices, one can ignite a fire from Arani wood. Although born of his dead father, King Prithu would still remain just like fire. Just as fire is not easily approached, King Prithu would be unapproachable by his enemies, even though they would appear to be very near him. So King Prithu is like fire. It's cool. It's cool. No, because we get feedback. It's not always heard, is it? You know who you are. But
I don't know, I'm just waiting for you to say something.
yeah, King Prithu's like fire, and I'm feeling like fire in this heat. That's all I'm gonna say.
Text 12. King Prithu will be able to see all the internal and external activities of every one of his citizens. Still, no one will be able to know his system of espionage, and he himself will remain neutral regarding all matters of glorification or vilification paid to him. He will be exactly like air, the life force within the body, which is exhibited internally and externally, which is always neutral to all affairs. Text 13. Since this king will always remain on the path of piety, he will be neutral to both his son and the son of his enemies. If the son of his enemy is not punishable, he will not punish him. But if his own son is punishable, he will immediately punish him. Purport. Let me just read that last line. If the son of his enemy is not punishable, he will not punish him. But if his own son is punishable, he will immediately punish him. Purport. These are the characteristics of an impartial ruler. It is the duty of a ruler to punish the criminal and give protection to the innocent. King Prithu was so neutral that his own son, if his own son were punishable, he would not hesitate to punish him. On the other hand, if the son of his enemy were innocent, he would not engage in some intrigue in order to punish him. So this is wonderful and a great quality in a person, although not an easy quality to develop, because in general, blood's thicker than water, and if your own family member is guilty, you'll do whatever you can to cover it up and hide it and make him look innocent, him or her, make them look innocent. And on the other side, if your enemy has a child, here it's saying son, and your enemy is guilty of something, then you'll do whatever you can to stick it to the son, to hurt the enemy. So this is the rules people play by today, but we see, and even back then, but we see that King Prithu is impartial in that way. He just wants to protect the innocent and punish the kind of guilty, something like that.
Text 14. Just as the sun god expands his shining rays up to the Arctic region without impedance. The
Impedance.
The influence of King Prithu will cover all tracts of land up to the Arctic region and will remain undisturbed as long as he lives. Purport. Although the Arctic region is not visible to ordinary persons, the sun shines there without impediment, just as no one can check the sunshine from spreading all over the universe. No one could check the influence and reign of King Prithu, which would remain undisturbed as long as he lived. The conclusion is that the sunshine and the sun god cannot be separated, nor could King Prithu and his ruling strength be separated. His rule over everyone would continue without disturbance. Thus the king could not be separated from his ruling power. Interesting when you think of monarchy now, that they are separated, isn't it? Like you have the king, Charles, and it's not, I mean, it's ceremonial at best. His power is definitely clipped from the time of his forefathers. Like if you think of the Henry VIII comes to mind. You know, how many wives, how many women he killed because he wanted a son. Oh, okay, then you change the whole faith direction of the monarchy to do that. That's some power there.
Well, that's the absolute power, and probably, I'm not sure where the saying absolute power corrupts absolutely, but it probably has something to do with, you know, personalities like that. But yeah, I guess what I'm understanding you're saying is that previously the army of Great Britain would be under the command of the king, but now it's not. It's separated, and the post of king is really, like you said, ceremonial, and the government itself runs the military sort of thing.
Even though they're the heads of it.
Yeah, but ceremonially.
Yeah.
It's not that King Charles could come out tomorrow and say, we're declaring war on whatever, you know, and charge into battle. No one would listen to him.
Especially because he himself would have charged into battle, and to give credit back in the day they would. So it's not happening, King Charles.
We're not political or anything. We're not slating the royal family.
No.
But we're slating the royal family.
In fact, we say get well soon to King Charles and Princess of Wales, because they're both recovering from cancer. So that's quite especially as they're both in the direct line of the throne. One is on the throne and the next one. That's quite concerning, actually.
Text 15. The king will please everyone by his practical activities, and all of his citizens will remain very satisfied. Because of this, the citizens will take great satisfaction in accepting him as their ruling king. Text 16. The king will be firmly determined and always situated in truth. He will be a lover of the Brahminical culture and will render all service to old men and give shelter to all surrendered souls. Giving respect to all, he will always be merciful to the poor and innocent. Purport. The word Vriddha Sevikaha is very significant. Vriddha means old men. There are two kinds of old men. One is old by age and another is old by knowledge. This Sanskrit word indicates that one can be older by the advancement of knowledge. King Prithu was very respectful to the Brahmanas and he protected them. He also protected persons advanced in age. When whatever the king would decide to do, no one would be able to stop. That is called Dridha Sankalpa or Dridha Vrata. Yes. So, yeah. I would take this, of course the word is used here as old men, but I guess the word I would use would be senior. Because you can have a senior citizen as an old person, but you can have a senior person who's senior by post or by knowledge in a certain subject. I guess I've always understood, like, within our culture, there's senior by birth. That's material birth. That means by your age. Senior by your position. Senior by spiritual qualification or knowledge. And senior by spiritual birth. So you may have like a 60-year-old person who comes and just starts chanting Hare Krishna, and in that sense they're junior to a person who's like 21 and has Brahmin initiation and has been chanting for like 2 or 3 years. But you know, so then we have to look at different things of how we measure someone's seniority. Here in the Bhagavatam, Shukadeva Goswami is 16, 17 years old, and he's speaking the Bhagavatam to munis who are like hundreds of years old. So like that seniority and respect comes in different ways to different people. It's not just that because you're old, you're the wisest and most intelligent person in the room kind of thing. Nothing against old people or wise guys, but like that. You want to read another one or call it a day?
I'm going to have to call it a day.
Okay.
I'm getting heat wave.
And yeah, just like the Incredible Hulk, you wouldn't like that, to see that in
The
action.
sun is directly on me.
It's just like we were reading in the previous thing, which was an important point I wanted to bring up about the Arctic Circle, but I won't do that because it's going to set her off. But yeah, so thank you all very much for tuning in. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai, New York Dham Ki Jai.
There's a skyline behind us.
Yeah, you can barely see it, but that is the New York
There's
skyline.
a New York skyline.
Okay. Hare Krishna, everyone.